Hello everyone, and welcome back to DMG. A while ago I took a look at this MacBook, pulled the drive out, got the files off of it. However, today I want to take a slightly deeper look at what happened to it. So we can see signs of water damage up here, but I was thinking I would take the board out if it doesn't look too hard, and look at the rest of it. So it doesn't look like it will be extraordinarily hard. There are some of the hex head screws up the top here. Oh. Even the screw holes are a bit corroded from the water. Actually, before I proceed any further, I should have done this with the hard drive as well. This looks like a battery connector, so I should disconnect it. And the issue is, I don't know how it does disconnect. Ooh, like all under this ribbon cable, it's corroded as well. Yeah, so this board is beyond saving. There's also some on the charging port circuitry over here. I wonder why it wouldn't turn on. Huh. Honestly, with the MacBook reputation of being super hard to work on, I had anticipated this being much more difficult, but, as I said in the first video on this machine, I'm going to take that out. Let's see, what is this? Yeah, DDR3. Lots of chips on it. But yeah, as I said in the first video, that definitely does not apply to the older ones. Now, I thought I had taken all the screws out. There's some more on the fan. It looks like there might be some more on the memory slots. I don't know if those attached through the board though, or if they just screw the plastic housing of the memory slots to the board. Yeah, I don't think these screw the board to the case. I'm going to try and disconnect the rest of these little cables. So many screws. Okay, perfect. So it feels like the fan might need to come out first. So I'll need to unscrew the rest of it. These cables at the bottom, I think, is what was holding it. What do these even go to? Okay, it feels a bit looser now, but I still think that there's something there. That is holding it in. And it feels like it's down here. It's that big battery connector, that's it. Okay, that came out now. And it feels like the board should just lift up, but it's not. Is there something here as well? It definitely feels like there is. Ah, did this need to be unscrewed? There we go. then yeah, it's still attached to this, whatever that is, charging board circuit probably. Yeah, so the board is soldered to the charging port from something on the bottom of the board. Ooh, yeah, that's gone. Ooh, that's pretty bad. So, yeah, looking at the bottom there, there's like most of the damage is around this area. There's also some here. Here's our chipset, here's our CPU. Well, no, sorry, I think that's the chipset. That's our, maybe, graphics? Hold up. So yeah, here on this back side of the motherboard, of course, RAM slots, you've got your CPU, maybe chipset or iGPU, and then chipset or iGPU. I think that is the chipset under there. Like, it's under the speaker though, so it probably is not something that needs a lot of ventilation. Now under here, I'll go back to the laptop itself. Actually, I'll just do a wide shot. There we go. So of course here's your battery, optical drive, hard drive would have gone here, motherboard of course goes there. Speakers. Now, it looks like this is maybe our Wi-Fi and LAN card, because we've got 3 antennas, so that's for probably Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Here's our charging port. Taking a look at it, it's corroded on the bottom slightly. So, truly, there is just... I wouldn't expect this to work, ever, unfortunately. This board is definitely very dead. Actually, no, I don't have anything hooked up, so I probably shouldn't plug it in. If I can figure out how to get those screen wires off, I could pop it off the speaker, but then past that point, I'm kind of lost on what to do. Oh, okay, it's just a connector, but it's just taped down. And then the speaker also just peels off. Okay, now we can get a closer look at the board itself. That looks like a little diode, and a bunch of ICs have just not had a fun time. You could take a look under the heatsink as well to see if the CPU suffered anything, but I would assume that it had not. Now, I have another MacBook. I think this is a similar model. Now, it's not exactly the same. I don't know what it is, actually. Well, the drive says July 2012, so it's probably a 2013, 2014 model, because a lot of the parts look the same. The board layout is very similar. Actually, the board layout is almost the same. Is this the same MacBook? I think it might be. Now, I'll see if I can find the back to it. I can't, unfortunately. This was Benjamin's before it got hit by lightning, so I don't quite know what's wrong with it, but it will not boot. Now, first thing I want to try is putting the hard drive from this one into this one. It had issues reading any hard drive. It would only boot from an external drive. So it could be a dead SATA controller on the board or something. We were not quite sure what was wrong with it. But my thought was, I could feasibly swap the boards if I can get this one to boot. Hey. That sounds good. hear hard drive sounds, but I'm not getting a display. Fan spun. Ooh. Come on. Yeah, and then the hard drive just stops spinning. So this one also has a dead board, but it's not severely water damaged like this one. Yeah, that's its issue. It just gives the, and then the fan randomly spins up and down. It just gives you the like question mark boot folder, no matter what hard drive you have in it. Well, I guess this gets added to the pile of MacBooks that doesn't work. I'm gonna wait for the fan to spin down before I take the hard drive out, because I don't want any power still left in this. I don't want the drive to be spinning when I take it out. So yeah, it looks like the chance of me resuscitating this one with this one is pretty low. Now, I could be wrong, but I think this one has some sort of i5, i7 second gen, maybe? And then this is, of course, an i7 because it's the MacBook Pro. Now, these could be the same model, but just using a different optical drive. That is very possible. However, because this part is different, I can't make any assumptions that they are the same. Now, something I've never tried, actually, is what does this do with different RAM? Could its booting problem have literally just been RAM? Now, that's pretty unlikely, because it worked fine, and one day it didn't. So I think we've got a case of two dead motherboards. How do I get this out? So yeah, I think we have a case of two dead motherboards. But still, I think it is worth a try. Why does this have one 4 gig stick? That's not enough for a healthy growing boy. There we go. Basically, I'm gonna take the board from this one and try and plug it into this one. Although, swapping a dead board with a dead board wouldn't do anything. So, honestly, I think I could fix both of these by just ordering replacement boards, because this one, honestly, will never live again. Like, if just a couple caps or resistors were damaged, it could be swapped. Like, just those could be resoldered. But because a lot of the chips on the board are severely damaged, that won't be a possibility. Now, looking closer at this one, it does look like there's some weird stuff going on with the RAM slot. It looks like, probably won't show up on corrosion, it's on camera, it's very tiny, but there's a minuscule amount of corrosion right there on the RAM slot. Now that could just be like a weird colored piece of dust or something, because there aren't holes on the back over the RAM, which is, well, it's right there actually. But could have been the issue with this board. Could have been the issue with this board. Well, we know it was the issue with this board. But I mean, now that we've torn this down a little bit more, I think I will end the video here. And if I do end up ordering a replacement board, there will definitely be a second video, or a third video at this point. But yes, thank you everyone for watching, and yeah, that's it for this video. See you next time.